in whom he professed faith, that all people should be free, and that slavery was a sin that should be immediately eradicated. The book you're listening to also incorporates the reflections of his colleagues James Bradley and Nancy Prince, each of whom was Black and worked with Ingraham for a time. Their work offers the perspective of the oppressed and demonstrates that interracial abolitionism not only was possible, but is also a historical fact. The struggle for racial justice continues to this day. We are confronted by racial profiling that too frequently leads to the brutalization and even the murder of unarmed Black people by police officers. We saw a white supremacist slaughter 9 Black Christians at Emmanuel AME Church as they concluded a Bible study meeting. We see a mounting spate of violent attacks on people of Asian descent simply because a pandemic reignited long-standing prejudices. Certain kinds of immigrants, those from poorer nations and whose skin is black or brown, get vilified by a political faction that insists that they must be kept out of the United States with literal walls. What will the witness of the Christian church be in this time of racial upheaval? In this next iteration of the civil rights movement, will Christians demonstrate compromise in the face of racial injustice or courage? The longer I engage in the work of racial justice advocacy, the more persuaded I become that many answers to the most pressing problems of the present can be found by studying the past. What would it take to form modern-day benevolent societies dedicated to eradicating racial injustice? How can we engage in truly equitable interracial cooperation without replicating the power imbalances of the broader society? What distinct message does Christianity offer in this racial context? As has been true throughout U.S. history, the most visible racial divide cuts through the relations between Black and white Americans. But analyzing that rift informs the efforts of people of all races and ethnicities. Addressing questions about the contours of the current racial justice movement is work that also belongs to all people of faith. Congregations, study groups, college and seminary students, and individual Christians can all draw from stories of faithfulness, like those you will encounter in this book, to help shape their approach to contemporary justice issues. We do not have to labor for change as though we were the first to do so. We can pursue social action in the present even as we stay in conversation with those who did similar work in the past. From Ingraham, Bradley, and Prince, we learn that racial justice is never a popular practice. We can glean lessons in resilience and perseverance from their example. We can also discover how they imperfectly pursued righteous ends. Sometimes people compromise their values, reveal their blind spots, and fail those whom they profess to serve. These figures teach us that the road toward justice is full of rocks and uneven ground, and can often be shrouded in darkness to make us stumble in our walk. But history can offer us hope. Even as the historical record proves the dismal pattern of racism among so many Christians, it also reveals that some resisted the status quo. It shows that there were people of faith who understood religion in an alternative way, viewing what they believed as a source of liberation rather than oppression. It is because of their work, their faith, and their hope that much progress in society has been made. We are heirs to that hope as well if we allow ourselves to be. If an interracial group of Christians gathered almost 200 years ago in opposition to their nation's most heinous atrocities and in promotion of the dignity of all people, then the same can be true now. That's especially true given that we are living in a renaissance of popular interest in the academic study of history, calling many voices back to the surface of our conversations or elevating forgotten ones for the first time. Public-facing explorations of history, including the 1619 Project journalistic endeavor, best-selling books such as Jesus and John Wayne, and documentaries such as 13th.